Welcome to the Mental Health Janitors Special Edition. We are going to be filming this here in the studio and on location on our 10-year anniversary of Operation Restore Hope with Q Missions, where we take veterans down to Mexico. We teach them all about the brain, how it operates, all the stuff that we talk about here. And then we put it all into practice by building a home for a homeless family. So you guys will get to see a little bit of the behind the scenes of what that looks like. And spoiler alert, the documentary film crew is coming back. So they did our first year, and they're coming back to do our 10 years. So we have the documentary film crew who's going to do like a Where Are They Now?
So cool. And I know you guys, if you're regular viewers, you know my story. But if you're not, or you want a refresher, my mental health journey, growth journey, post-traumatic growth journey started Operation Restore Hope 2016. So it was their first Memorial Day build ever. Mm-hmm. And it was the first Memorial Day weekend I wasn't blackout drunk. And because Memorial Day weekend is really, really hard for veterans who've lost people, right? We'll get into that later. But it is so, I've been back several times, but it's so exciting to go back this time, knowing that Aaron, Sergeant Q, and his wife Holly and I go back 10 years now. Yeah. And to see that was the beginning of my growth, and now I'm co-hosting this podcast with Aaron.
Well, better than that, you're a mental health counselor. You're out there every day helping people take control of their mental health journey.
Yes. All because of Operation Restore Hope 2016. And God's mercy on me and leading me to the right people to start taking my mental health growth seriously. So I'm excited to go back with you.
You know what's great about this too, Jess, is that your oldest daughter has come.
Yes.
Liberty. And now your youngest daughter, Autumn, is going to get to come.
Yeah.
And your husband has been. So it's not just you, but it's the whole family.
Yeah.
That has come and been part of this experience.
Yeah.
And you've invited several other people.
Oh, yeah. I've taken my parents. We've built in honor of a fallen veteran that I lost while I was in Iraq. I was able to bring his mom and continue that legacy for her mourning and for her son. It's just been an incredible experience for me over the last 10 years. So
yeah, and now you have a couple friends that'll be joining us this year as well. A couple fellow veterans that you know that you've invited. So really, really cool. And that's how we build this trip organically. I don't run ads to try and get people to come and be a part of it. It's just the veterans that go through the program, they tell people about it, and then they want to go through as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Well, I'm excited to see what content we're going to create on ground.
Yes. And so you're going to be doing something special there that's never been done before on our 10 year.
Yeah.
And so do you want to tell everybody what that is?
I'm going to be, facilitating the morning devotions, where I'm going to incorporate some mental health tools into a devotional and just trying to help teach anybody who wants to show up for that portion how to incorporate God's goodness and God's sovereignty into some awesome tools that he's given us for our mental health, and just putting the two together and hoping that people can use these two tools that have really helped in my post-traumatic growth and mental health growth, just sharing that with them. So excited about that.
That's going to be really cool. We always do a devotional, but this time we have somebody who's going to give us specific tools that you can use to help with their mental health on these little tiny, in the military, we call them hip pocket classes. So these little tiny teaching moments that they can then utilize out there in the field.
I forgot that term, and I'm actually giving a pocket material to pull out. What?
Hip pocket class. There you go. Yeah. All right, so get ready. We're about to start the classes where we teach people. And here's where you start to see walls come down, where people start to become vulnerable and share and grow. This is a really cool part of our whole trip. All right, you guys, it's the Mental Health Janitors. And as Jess fixes her hair for getting camera ready, we've been traveling all day. We started about 4 a.m. heading to SeaTac Airport, getting the flight here, eating some great tacos, and then we taught classes for about 3.5 hours on mental health. So right now we're in Mexico. We just finished eating dinner. Yeah. Jess, tell me about the classes. This is what really impacted you today. You went through the classes years ago, and now you just went through them again as a mental health professional?
Yeah, so this is my 4th time here, actually. But what's interesting for me, and you helped remind me, the very first time I came, 2016, right? If you guys followed our story, and in the intro, I explained again that it was my first Memorial Day weekend that I wasn't blackout drunk, right? So, what the craziest thing is I was so anxious to come on the trip in 2016 that I was actually laying in bed the first day for all the classes and listening to it on my phone. My husband had to call me on speaker and I had to listen to it from bed because I couldn't even stand up straight. You guys who have gut issues with your emotions, you know what that's like. And so he just reminded me of that, right? And I've taken the classes now. This is my 4th time, but this is my first time as a licensed mental health counselor, and I've been able to look back at it's always been good, but the A game that Sergeant Q and his team brings on the mental health side and the tools and the brain body connection and everything in this room of people, of veterans, and I love looking around and seeing people are just really, really in tune to what they're teaching. And so the last 3 times I've come, I've been able to learn a lot for myself and grow a lot for myself. And this time I was able to sit back and still learn some stuff, of course, but I was able to watch and actually see people taking this information in and it transforming their brains starting right then. And so it'll be really exciting moving forward the next 3 days and watching these people put into practice what they were taught in these classes. It's been amazing.
It's really cool. I sit in the back of the class because I get to watch the body language of the class. So I'm taking notes for all of us because we all want to get better at public speaking. So we don't just go up there and wing it. Like, we really practice. And then I'm sitting back there, I'm taking notes on what they're saying. Did this story hit? Did the allegories hit? Where were the points where people got really drawn in? The body language, what this is telling us. And then I go back and I share that with the team and say, this point was really good. You missed this one. How can we wordsmith this so that way it really hits home? So we practice all of that stuff to make sure that we're delivering quality content to the veterans.
Yeah, it's quality. It's amazing. I can't wait to watch the transformation over the next 48 hours.
Awesome. All right. We'll see you guys tomorrow. All right. Welcome to day 2. Day 2, we get to meet the family, go to the job site, and start building the house. Jess, what was it like that first time that you showed up on the job site and there was just a big pile of lumber? What were you thinking?
Oh my gosh, man. Well, come on. I have 3 traumatic brain injuries. I have terrible memory. But I do remember thinking, how in the heck are we going to do this? First of all, I was thinking, I hate painting. Why am I on the painting team?
Because you're a ginger. Okay, so if you didn't get that joke, you've got to watch our short, Gingers Aren't Black.
That was so... Okay. So, it was, you build a house in 2 days.
2 days.
How the heck do we do that? But it was so empowering.
Day 3, we are finishing the house and turning it over to the family. And that is a really powerful, pivotal moment for so many people. Jess, you've been through a couple of these experiences. Tell the audience what that's like.
Yeah. So, as we huddle in a circle and we pass the keys, and we all say something to the family, and 100 out of 100 times, the message is, you think we've blessed you with a home, but you have blessed us with so much more, right? And that was the moment I realized it was the Sunday before Memorial Day. We're handing these keys, and I was able to stay away from social media and all of this because everything was going on. And in that moment, I realized maybe there's a video of it. I don't know. But I realized this is the first Memorial Day weekend that I'm not intoxicated, trying to numb all my feelings, and how empowering that felt, and how I wanted to thank that family for giving me the opportunity to be empowered and for the veil to be lifted to see that, with God, I can get through this. And I realized I didn't have to go back to my negative coping mechanisms ever again.
That's really good, Jess. I felt the same way. When I went down, there was no program. It was just me going down with my church on Memorial Day. And same thing. I would spend every Memorial Day bellied up to a bar, drinking myself into oblivion. And then I went to Mexico and I built that home for a homeless family. and I found a better way to honor the memory of all those who have come before us and laid down their life on the altar of freedom. It's a really powerful time, and I'm so glad that I brought all of you guys with me. All right, you guys, it is Sergeant Q and, of course, Doc Jess, and we just finished our Mexico mission where we were building a home for a homeless family, working with a huge team of other veterans, helping them not just build a house, but build mental resilience. All right, Jess, you were here 9 years ago, first trip. Compared to now, what's the biggest difference for a couple things? For you, for the trip, and for the base. So let's start with you.
Yeah, with me, I'm in a much better place mentally. And I had been in a much better place in my mental health journey the second time I came back in 2019. So it was easy for me to come this time expecting to just kind of be the professional and to be the strong one there for people. And I found myself in certain situations feeling very triggered, right? And a couple of things to go with that is because we have a super supportive, understanding, non-judgmental group cohort. And it's amazing what happens when you're surrounded by people who are safe, what kind of new emotions can come up for you so that you can work through them in a healthy way. And so that's one thing that I noticed is I came into it thinking, I'm gonna be a rock star, right? And I still was a rock star, of course. I'm Doc Jess, but there were times I wasn't a rock star, and I had a super supportive team with me to be able to work through some of that stuff. I also, I've said it before. I don't know if it was in an interview with somebody else, or maybe if you guys get to hear it again, but seeing it right from a different vantage point in my growth, seeing it as a licensed mental health counselor, and seeing the amazing work that that Sergeant Q has put in with his team in helping reach people in the classes and the support while we're out there is just phenomenal, right? The very first time I came, I barely remember anything because I was in such a dark place. Remember Hot Mess Jess? And I see so much more clarity now, the impact, but also the growth that Sergeant Q and his team has had in just learning each year and growing each year. And it was so cool this year, right? Because I got to watch, and I can't say this part because it's a secret. The ceremony.
Oh, yeah, there's a ceremony.
You have to come for that part. But spoiler alert, nope, not getting it. Yeah, so for me, it was really interesting in those parts. And I mean, the base is so beautiful. It's like so many more buildings are built, right? So they're like growing drastically. And the crazy thing is every time I come down here, I'm like, I want to be a missionary. I just want to move down here, and I want to help people, right? It's like I can't even explain the amount of dopamine and oxytocin and serotonin.
And we have Christians and non-Christians that come on this trip all of the time.
Yeah.
And it's about healing and finding a place where you fit in and where you belong. And everybody finds that here with us.
Yeah, and it's been incredible embracing the non-Christians, right? This trip has been so incredible because we've had a handful of non-Christians, and we have just loved on, right? And we're showing them the true love of Jesus Christ, the true love of God. And I guarantee you, people who have church hurt or God hurt would come on this and be like, this is the gospel. This is the gospel. This is the gospel, but this is, right, they're thinking like, this is not what I had in mind when I thought of Christians. And it's a beautiful thing to watch unfold.
So you got to bring your other daughter and brought your oldest years ago, and now you got to bring your youngest.
Yeah.
What was that like as a mom? Not as Doc Jess, but just as...
Oh, okay. Well, how do I do this without being super prideful? I'm proud of my daughter, right? We're allowed to be proud of our kids, but I just have really stellar kids. They have confidence and they have grace and they have compassion. And I mean, every single day we were like, my husband and I were like, where's Autumn? Did she get on a vehicle? And everybody's like, yeah, we got her. Like, she gets on vehicles without us. She's 9, almost 10. And, she talked to the family and she debriefs and unpacks things with me about, wow, she didn't think about, she got to see their bathroom in their shower. And she's like, wow, I'm going to be thankful for my bathroom and shower every night. And it's just really cool to experience those pivotal moments in your kid's life. and it's lovely. I love it.
Yeah, I've been bringing my kids down here since they were 11 and 9, and it radically changed their lives. So, all right, that's what we got for you guys today. We will catch up with you tomorrow as we cross the border and head back to America, back to the real. Yeah. We're going to head back across the border. This is where reality starts to hit veterans as we go back to real life, because we're kind of stuck in a bubble. We've had some really powerful moments. There's a debrief that happened the night before where we get to share our experiences. It's a very raw and real time. And now we have to head back to America, back to the reality of our lives. Now we have the tools, we have the training, but now we have to put in the time to use them to rebuild our lives a better way.
Yeah.
Well, for the Mental Health Janitors special edition,
Mhm.
I'm Sergeant Q,
I'm Doc Jess.
and we're out.